with some more Age of Mythology Retold action. Spawning in the right side of the map in the blue color, playing as Odin. His name is Suppe. His opponent today in the red color, playing as Zeus. His name is Matreiuss. The map is Marsh. And ladies and gentlemen, we've got some incredibly strong players here for you. They're both on, technically speaking, their main gods. Recently, Matreiuss has been going very, very hard on the Zeus. He's been really trying to get this Zeus to a level that is very competitive at the top level. A lot of people are saying Zeus has been hit with a lot of nerfs recently and not that strong. But Matreiuss definitely sees something with this god, and he's trying to figure out a way in which to play it. Now, he is hitting a matchup, Zeus versus Odin, where I personally believe Zeus has got a lot of advantages in. He's got Minotaurs, he's got Centaur. Either one is going to be really, really useful here. He's also got the strong Hoplites, which can be really, really good at defending against raiding cavalry raids and things like that. And he can have a really, really good game of it. Now, we're also seeing the scouting coming around at the center of the map here on the map Marsh. Whole bunch of relics here. Suppe, on the other hand, he's playing some Odin at the moment. Odin's been kind of fallen out of flavor recently for the Norse players. I'm not exactly sure if this is because people are thinking he's weak after the nerfs that he's received, but or if it's just that the other Norse gods are just giving a little bit more success. Say, I think Loki's really, really strong right now. I think Thor is really, really strong right now. And I think Freya is really, really strong right now. Oh, did he just lose that? No. So there is an argument that perhaps Odin, while might be the easiest of the Norse gods to pilot, arguably Loki's a little bit easier, but that's a different conversation for a different day. But Odin here, there is an argument that he might be the worst of the 4 Norse gods. Now, I say there's an argument for it. That doesn't make it so, but you could make the case. Nonetheless, I do think that Odin is even if Odin is the weakest of the Norse gods, I personally think that Odin is strong, which just goes to show you how good of a spot Norse is in right now in Retold, in my opinion. Nonetheless, we're seeing 4 city come through, and we have to do a quick Alt-T to flip these over. Apparently, these stats here have all been fixed. Happy days. And we are seeing Athena coming through for Matreiuss. So, no villages on the temple, though, for Matreiuss, as what does it look like he's going for? He's only got 4 villages on wood. He's only got 4 villages on gold here, as he's going to be moving off of his hunt right now and moving over to the berries. As what is this relic? He's grabbed the first relic here. Heroes regain hit points while fighting enemy units. Very, very big relic. Searching around here to potentially grab Pygmalion statue here to help him defend against raids. On this position, we're also seeing Suppe picking up Ulla's bow to give himself a little bit more range on his units. This is a huge relic to grab when dealing with enemy infantry units as Norse. 1 extra range on a throw and action might not seem like a lot, but I'm telling you it is. As Matreiuss has now got himself that Pygmalion statue. The relic grabs are in hot pursuit here. As Heracles moving across the map, I'm going to be looking for something to grab. He might be looking to push in here and grab something else. We do see a cheeky little Valkyrie. They're going to get bolted down. Minotaur going to be pulling back. Heracles and Minotaur can get some nice pressure on, but Suppe, he's going to be dropping double great hauls to kick this game off in the main base of Matreiuss. Is going for a Hippias and a Hoplite. Military Academy and stable here. So no Toxotes to kick the game off. I'm not a fan of this. I just think that the Toxotes are kind of useful to pressure your opponent and force them out. And he might go for a 1-1-1 here of just a healthy mix of everything. As the Hersir coming in onto this position, Minotaur can get through here and get some good damage in. Jason is coming through as well, but with 3 Hersir, it's a little bit too much for Matreiuss to take here. As he does manage to retreat back, Hersir and Minotaur both got the same speed as the Minotaur is sneaking through, but more units are piling in onto this spot. Matreiuss getting very aggressive early on. This is something we've seen time and time again by Zeus players, and to me, it just seems like it just simply put doesn't really work as the raiding cavalry are going to get smacked down here. No micro from Suppe. The Hippias going to be pulling back. Looks like the Jason going to be going down very, very quickly here as the Minotaur attempting to push those raiding cavalry away here. Good micro from Matreiuss to kind of pull out with that Hippias. They're keeping that one alive. He doesn't have any real healing he can do, but he can utilize restoration, which obviously will get him a lot more HP. And there he goes on that one. This Hippie is going to get back up to full H. No, he's got to stay in the radius there, though, not able to do so. As now Suppe going to be really, really happy with this position now. Forcing out an early restoration is absolutely huge in these sorts of situations, as the Hippie is coming over here, going to attempt to take out the villagers. Nice micro there from Suppe to fight back, as the Minotaur still sitting at full HP, and those raiding cavalry getting pushed back really, really nicely here. Funnily enough, I think a really, really easy way for Suppe to have actually defended this is to just open up with those double great halls. Instead of making raiding cavalry, just make Herser to kick this game off with, and then go into the raiding cavalry a little bit later, because then he would have had himself a really, really good answer to those, not just the 10% HP hack units here, but also picking off that Minotaur would be really, really simple, and he would have no targets, and this army would not be that strong. But at the moment, Suppe gonna have to pull off of the water buffalo over here. A couple of those throwing axemen coming in. There are going to be some hoplites joining in onto the fighting very, very shortly, so that throwing axemen going to be a big, big help. As units going to be charging through. We do see that Minotaur charging in. Gets a huge amount of damage done. Sending those throwing axemen packing there, as the Hippias cleaning everything up on that front there as well. More Herser getting taken down, as the Herser over here will be able to chase down that Minotaur on the back. Throwing axemen, while they don't get any bonus against the Hippias, and they are countered, technically speaking, by those Hippias, they do get hack damage dealt. And hack damage is really, really good against those. As raiding cavalry going to come through here, and Matreiuss, while he's done good damage, he has overcommitted in the slightest way here. As you're going to get chased down all across the map. A couple more Hippias and hoplites coming through to help support. Now, one problem for Matreiuss at the moment is he's had a lot of idle time on the food villages here, and he might actually find himself in with a little bit of a challenge to be producing units for a little bit here, as now it looks like Suppe overcommitting ever so slightly, as the hoplites have now joined the party. Those throwing axemen on the back getting charged in onto. Hippias really, really good at sniping down those hoplites, and those, not those hoplites, those throwing axemen that need to be out there to snipe down the hoplites. And Suppe has found himself in a very, very challenging position. Great control by Matreiuss, as Suppe going to have to pull back into his main base here, as a raiding cavalry are going to be coming over here in an attempt to take out those Hippias as best as they possibly can. Snipes that one down. Raiding cavalry going to be pulling back. And we'll see how things are going to come through. Look at Suppe's production right here. He's got so many resources in the bank. He just needs to put down some more military buildings to actually spend this. If you take a look at his actual resources, it kind of looks like he's spending his resources nicely here. But in actuality, he's got just a huge amount of resources currently stockpiled with, like, what was that, 4 queued up at a time there. So he's going to have to get some more buildings thrown down. He's getting houses up onto this position. He does have 10 villages on wood now, so he will be able to start doing that. But it's definitely going to be something he needs to start getting himself in a good spot here, as raiding cavalry are going to be searching around. Now, Matreiuss is pulling back into his main base. We will be seeing that Thundering Hooves technology coming through as well. Absolutely love that one. Really, really helps the raiding cavalry out, giving them HP and move speed. Is that correct? HP and move speed. So he's going to be looking for that. We see a lot of villagers now on the temple, as I like this from Matreiuss. Matreiuss knows the gold mine will expire here at some point in the near future for Suppe, and getting out 2, 3, even 4 Minotaurs, 3 Minotaurs, and getting that upgrade for them in, what's it called, Labyrinth of Minos, will be incredibly challenging for Suppe to deal with here, as the medium raiders coming through with the bonus damage. Raiding cavalry running through onto this position, but hoplites in a great spot there. Forest fire forced out as well, as the villagers over here going to get sniped down. The army does need to retreat away. Got to respect that ever so slightly, as the hoplites coming back in. Raiding cavalry still trying to get in onto those villagers there, but I think these raiding cavalry will need to retreat out of here. And now you see the dwarves over onto the gold mine. We are seeing Minotaurs coming through. Lots of favor in the bank here for our main man, Matreiuss, who's going to be looking for every single little one of those Minotaurs he can possibly get. He's got a lot of resources in the bank. He might even want to just go to the next age and then think about getting those Manticore out and going for an Underworld onto this position over here. But that does give Suppe a lot of time to get damage onto him, and Suppe is attempting to get through here. We'll be losing one raiding cavalry. Does get smacked away with that Minotaur over there as well, as Suppe can't retreat out here, and running through this base is going to be really, really challenging. Meanwhile, Minotaur pops through, going to be pushing those raiding cavalry away. You also have to remember these villagers have got Pygmalion statues, 77 HP. It's very, very hard to raid Matreiuss in this game with that relic through, as Suppe going to be pulling back up on this position. The raiding cavalry are going to be searching around for something to do. A couple more raiding cavalry are going to get sniped down, as they're going to just simply retreat back out of here. Meanwhile, Military Academy coming down onto this position as well. More Minotaurs coming through, as we also see that Apollo and Labyrinth of Minos. Why is this so good? Reason is because Myth units get a boost when you get to the Heroic Age. So not only does Matreiuss get himself Underworld to kind of push in and kill off some units, villagers get a gold staff going or something like that, but also the Minotaurs over here get really, really strong. Labyrinth of Minos is going to come through, gets an extra 30% HP. As the raiding cavalry trying to push through here. I'm not sure this is going to be a great idea. Labyrinth of Minos is in. Units pushing forward. Those are going to be some very, very scary Minotaurs to deal with pushing forward into this game. Meanwhile, Pegasus over here spots those villagers out. Apollo just about to come through. He can push in, underworld this, walk over here, kill those villagers. Suppe is going to be in for a very challenging time. He is going through Skadi though, as Matreiuss needs to act quick, otherwise Frost will come down and all of Matreiuss's units and his underworld will get stopped. Great Hall coming down in the center of the map here. That's going to get put a stop to, as the hoplites need to ever so slightly pull back here. Nice little Minotaurs. Good micro there from Suppe though to pull away from it. Only gets hit with one unit, as where is the Pegasus coming over onto this position, sees 9 villagers here. He can Underworld here, but I mean, is this really a good usage of Underworld? You be the judge. It's looking like he wants to make it happen, but just going after the center of the map, and with Skadi through now, Matreiuss has lost any sort of timing he might have had, but he is making himself those Manticores. We are seeing raiding cavalry sneaking through onto this position. Lots of villagers over here. Raven spotting this one out. Suppe knows exactly what's going on over there. Some walls coming up. Creative wall used here to try and block this off and give those villagers a retreat path, but Matreiuss not reacting. Underworld coming in. Defensive Underworld over here, as the villagers are going to be popping in onto this position, and we see Frost coming through. The villagers are in, but now the units over here are going to be able to charge in and take those out. He gets the entirety of the army. What a Frost usage there by Suppe, as Matreiuss's villagers not only idle, but also undefended here as they're retreating away from those Herso charging in. Meanwhile, Hoplites, they're going to be under attack, but they take very, very small amount of damage here. So we also see the Godi starting to come through as well. We have a couple more Manticore in onto this fight here as well. The units can just simply retreat out here, no problems. Villagers retreating back and come onto that storehouse over here to boot. As a raiding cavalry going to be searching around, can take out straggler units and everything else, but I think he wants to pull them back over here and take this fight. At the moment, it looks to me like Matreiuss hard wins this fight here. Minotaurs plenty here to deal with the Frost Giant and everything else. I think that Frost Giant used its special maybe a little bit too early and didn't actually get any hits off on it, as the units were unfreezing while he used it. That's maybe a little bit of a bug there for the developers to fix nonetheless. Nonetheless, Matreiuss here gets a good fight. Frost is gone. Suppe's had really, really good damage onto Matreiuss's army here. Matreiuss has got some more Manticore moving across the map. Those Manticore do so much damage. There's just not enough heroes in here for Suppe just yet. Does he have his upgrade for these bad boys? He doesn't have Ses Minrir or whatever it's called in the temple here. You can wait, not the temple. Over here, you can see that the chair upgrade doesn't have that one just yet. Would help those Herso get a huge amount more HP, so they're able to stay alive and deal with those Minotaurs a little bit easier. It also gives the Godi a little bit of HP as well, I believe, as those hoplites are able to take everything else out. And it looks like Matreiuss has traded really, really well. He's in front by 1,000 military resource value at the moment. As those Minotaurs are very, very low HP. Matreiuss is going to be pushing forward. Suppe retreats back. Lots of idle villagers over here as the Minotaur's going to charge in and take these bad boys out. We'll be smacking those as theirs will all go down. This is a big, big win here for Matreiuss to kind of level out the villager differential, because right now Suppe is in front. As my voice is trying to go on me. It's down to the bottom of the map. He's searching onto this gold mine. Suppe still has got plenty of gold left on this position. He needs to be aware that he did get some good raids off. He is playing as Odin, so his economy is stronger. So all he needs to do is sit back and just let those resources come in, get him into a really good position militarily speaking here. The problem is Matreiuss is 2k in resources in front. If Matreiuss just wants to say, I'm not going to build anything more at the moment, and just go heroic, go mythic age here, there is nothing that Suppe can really do to stop that. So it's a really, really good idea to just go mythic age here through Hera and get some really, really good damage done. As the units up here, they're all very low HP as well, which could be a little bit of a sign here that maybe if Suppe can take some good fights moving forward, he will find some advantage here. As Frost Giant joining into the army here, Matreiuss still just pumping out units. He's maintaining that 2,000 military resource value lead at the moment. If we take a quick look at the upgrades going for both players here, you've got really, really good upgrades here for our main man Suppe, as well as over here for Matreiuss. He doesn't have the upgrades at all. So the longer this goes on, the longer Suppe can just sit back, play defensively, get himself an army in, the further in front Suppe is going to end up being. As the unit's going to be moving around onto this position, got a lot of those goatees here to snipe the myth units from afar. He does not really need to take the fight, just needs to snipe those Minotaurs and Bales. Does manage to get them all on the front line here. The back line of Manticore is the problem though, as those are starting. Bit of a misclick there from Matreiuss as those goatee trying to take them down, and the front line there does end up getting massacred as Suppe trying to pull back. Lots of Berserks and Herdmen queued up at the moment. Suppe's got 4 longhouses. He's got 2 great halls. Should be able to get those units out in a jiffy. Meanwhile, we've also got those Peltas in to not only take out the goatee really nice and quickly, but also they get a good amount of bonus damage against throwing axemen. They've got 4x against throwing axemen. They do a crazy amount of damage against them. A crazy amount of damage. As the Manticore coming through, we will be seeing those villagers retreating back. Minotaurs charging through as, well, Herdman, not the worst thing in the world against those Peltas there. They're not amazing. It's not a terrible trade in all honesty. They both got very little amount of damage, to be honest. I think actually maybe the Peltas win. No, they don't. They're only doing 3.3 pierce damage a second compared to these bad boys, which are 4.4. Anyways, Dwarves are pulled off. Matreiuss has got a gold staff going here, but there is a gold mine down the bottom of the map. There is a Pegasus already over there. We do see the Minotaur charging in onto this position. Where are the remainder of those hero units? I think he lost them all. I think Suppe may have lost all of his hero units in that previous fight, so he's in a very, very challenging position right now. But his economy is still doing really well. This is his only hope here. But the problem is he's about to get pushed off of this gold mine. He doesn't have a lot of time remaining. Units on this spot. What? Does he have an inkling? No.
Yeah.
That will be absolutely devastating as Suppe has decided to farm all the way out there. Units coming up onto this spot here, as there's also going to be some Hapaspers to deal with the Berserks that are coming in. Matreiuss is doing a really, really great job in this game of simply saying, as we do see a couple of Berserks getting converted, simply saying, all right, you're building that unit, I'm going to build this unit. All right, you're building that unit, I'm going to build this unit. It's really important. As we also see Hamask coming through. This is a technology you don't get to see all too often, but definitely more heroes needed for Suppe, as he has got those queued up now coming in. More Herser. Still, does he have that Cess Rumnir upgrade? Still doesn't have that one. Just for those of you wanting to know what this does, it's an extra 15% hero hit points for only 200 resources, 15 favor. It's kind of a big deal. As the Minotaurs, especially when your opponent's going this heavy on myth units, the Minotaurs coming in onto the front here, going to be tanking in a big way. We see some berserks coming in here for Soup. Looks like he converted a couple more from his villagers or something. All those peltasts are going to be getting taken down. On the back, we see the Odysseus getting cleaned up here as well. The differential in military resource value heavily favoring Soup at the moment, as Matreiuss has overestimated his advantage in this game, and Soup is back in. And Matreiuss, what can he do now? Soup has figured a way back in. Soup now has got less villagers though, so he did convert some berserks, quite a few. There's a slight advantage for Matreiuss, but Matreiuss is out of army by 3,000. 3,000. That's a huge, huge deal here. One thing that Soup can do if he really wants to, especially with this upgrade Hamask, he can go to the Mythic Age here, throw down a hill fort, get himself that tier upgrade, and get himself all his armory upgrades, and then all the villages he's got 55 of them. Can I see how much this costs from here? No, I can't. I remember it costing somewhere in the vicinity of like 50 resources per villager and 25 resources per villager for Loki. I can't remember it. Don't quote me on that. But about 50 resources per villager. If he's got himself that like 50 villagers, 50 times 50, that's all the resources he needs to go for a big final push here and try and take out Matreiuss's entire base. But he will need to get himself raiding cavalry or a whole bunch of those answers. Well, he just needs to get answers for the pacifist here is the big problem. Throwing axemen are going to be a great answer for the time being, but he does need to be building himself raiding cavalry, getting more buildings down, get himself the full population before he does that sort of an attack. So it's not going to be anytime soon. But Matreiuss getting pushed back. The army is just so gigantic here for Soup at the moment. Another Manticore going to be popping out. Minotaur starting to fling units away, but they're going to immediately return back in. Those Hersa getting some great damage in, taking out the forward Manticore there, throwing axemen, killing everything else off. And in that moment, Matreiuss has to concede as Soup somehow, some way manages to hold on in this game, and Matreiuss can't find the winning blow here. A really, really interesting game in this one. I'm not exactly sure where Matreiuss went wrong. I think he overcommitted maybe on this fight over here with a whole bunch of low HP units. Not 100% sure. Either that or just turning the villagers into berserks. I'm still dying here, guys. Look at the resource value here. Right on this fight. You see, it's actually really close. 400 resources differential at the moment. And then Junk all the way down. Junk all the way. That's a crazy dip with Soup only dropping that much. He goes from 4,400 down to, that's 500 resources dead. That's like 5 units dead in that fight compared to all of that down. And I think a lot of that was just low HP myth units. Really, really well played here by Soup. Matreiuss almost found the win. I think maybe just a little bit more aggressive, being a little bit less caring about the old watchtowers and town centers in the enemy base. If you're like 2,000, 3,000 resources ahead in military, you can kind of just walk into your opponent's base and just sit there and kill off their army because there's nowhere for them to run. Alternatively, trying to come over here and get walls set up and prevent this gold mine from getting grabbed while you push in over to the other side is another really, really great way to play to prevent that gold mine from coming in, especially when you're behind on the villager count because of the raids that your opponent went for in order for you to have a military advantage. Like, Soup goes for raids, he loses a lot of units, but he kills a lot of villagers. That puts you in front militarily speaking, but behind villager-wise. And that means you're on a timer to catch back up. And I guess Matreiuss just could not find that catch back up button with his military. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed this one, please consider the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTube, hit that subscribe button. And I'll see you guys in the next game.